What's up guys, back at it again. Gonna work on the 240 today. I'm still pretty sick, but I want to knock this out just because it's the weekend and I don't really get much free time to work on the cars, so I'm going to try and do my best and get as much done as possible. I'm going to be installing the coilovers today, finally. Not really looking forward to like lowering the car just because I'm like sick and I don't want to tuck the harness, but I know if I should, because there's no point in lowering the car and then rubbing through the harness. So gonna do that, probably throw on the blitz and the works, and you guys will see how the car looks. I want to throw in my diffuser, but probably not gonna happen today. I'm probably gonna wait till after I do the trans swap and the welded diff. That way I don't have to keep taking it on and off, you know? So I'll just put it on after. So here's the coilovers. I got them used for $280 from some guy in San Ho. They're Dmax strip spec coilovers, and unfortunately the guy only had 3 at the time. He was running a Godspeed as the 4th one. I don't know exactly what happened to the 4th one, if he blew it out and just replaced it with a Godspeed, but he said that they're all the same spring rate and same height adjustability. I made sure to even out the length on the rears. The fronts are good. The fronts have 32-way dampening adjustments. It's kind of weird because it's on the bottom, and I see that as quite a problem if I really need to like adjust it on the fly, because I gotta get under the car, get dirty, adjust it. But we'll see when the time comes. Probably set it about mid-range right now. Just throw it on the car and then see how low I really want to be and like how close to the wheels I am. And if I want to go lower and stiffer, I can do that. And it's also got camber plates on the fronts, so not terribly bad. I was on a tight budget when I was buying these, so as you can see, $280, not bad. I made sure to clean these up, adjust them to the right length, and then I will throw them on the car, and once they're on the car, then I'll do like the final adjustments and everything. So did a few things, guys. Didn't get a chance to really record it. Took off the fender. Was able to tuck the harness up. You guys that don't know, when you go low, you want to make sure you tuck the harness up, because the harness usually runs right under here, under the wheel well, and it will start rubbing through when you go low, and your tires will chew through it, and you'll end up having to rewire everything. But if you just tuck it up above this metal, you shouldn't have those issues. So just tucked it up. Gotta put the fender back on. It's just held on by zip ties, which is fine. You guys probably haven't seen like the underside of the car, but I wasn't joking in an earlier episode when I said this car is just infested with spider webs and shit. The welds are all crummy and ugly, previous owner problem, so this car is gonna go into a wall. I really don't care. All this rust and shit, so the car's not perfect. It's really ugly. Look at that spider's nest too, or beehive, whatever. But yeah. So got it all tucked up. Took me about 10 minutes to do. Gonna do the driver's side tomorrow because we're about to head out to dinner. Just gonna throw the fender back on and probably wipe this down a bit, and then tomorrow will be coilover install. Another thing to note is when you're tucking the harness, you gotta cut out this little notch right here. It just makes it easier to tuck up the harness, because the harness would have to go all the way out here to like go around it, to go over it. It's just easier to cut into it and just tuck it up that way. And that's it, all back together. But you can see now, there are no more harness that I'm gonna run into. It's all nice and clear. You just, that, gotta zip tie back and call it a day. It's always a good time when you can get inside your fenders and clean out all the just random shit that just builds up. So with everything undone, harness should extend out to here, and just right about there is where I'm going to cut it, just so I can tuck it up and over. So I decided to take off the factory protective cover on the loom, just because it was too fat when I put it right here, and my fender, when I put it back on, it wasn't fitting. I had a huge crater of a panel gap. It was at least like 2 inches wide. So I'm gonna take this off, clean it off, and put it back up here and see how well that made for the clearance, because the clearance before was terrible. It was hitting right here in the fender, and every time I put it on there was like a huge panel gap. So gonna see how it is now. because this thing is pretty fat. Like, it's pretty thick all the way through, so I'm sure that saved a bunch of space for when I put the fender back on. So this is the panel gap before I take off the loom cover, and this is after, without the plastic loom cover. Yes, there's still a panel gap, but I already had that before I did this mod. The guy that sold me the car, he didn't do a great job with the panels, so I'm satisfied with that. That's not terrible. It was pretty open, like you could put your whole hand into the gap before, so that's how it's gonna be. Not too bad. So make sure you take off that plastic loom cover, it's huge. So here it is out, all beat up. That bushing's donezo. So I'm gonna rock Reg's for the time being until I can put in my ISR ones. I still have to order them, so. So apparently the previous owner cross-threaded this when he tightened it on, and now it won't come off. So even when it's something simple to do on the car, I always get shafted. This is legit, like, you're gonna spin it and nothing happens because it's definitely cross-threaded. Never seen that happen where you're taking something off and it's cross-threaded. Finally got it out. Freaking had to break out the cutter, cut the bolt clean off, and here's the nut. Just basically cut through it because there was no way I was taking it off. It was too stripped. Whoever put it on fucked me over. So now, instead of just simply putting on new suspension, I have to run over to Ace before they close and make sure to grab a nut and bolt. Fucking hell. So just mocking it up with the new wheel. Works on there. They clear the big brake kit, no problem. I put a spacer on just so it's a little bit more flush because the offset's super high on these wheels. They're still a little bit sunk, but better than nothing. So I got one side pretty much done. Still got to go to Ace, get that bolt for the coilover, and now we're gonna head to the other side. Take care of this. I didn't mention it on the other side, but if you've never taken off your suspension before, 17, 17, 17, 17. So 17s will be your best friend. There's two under here, those are also 17s. The ones on top are 14s. A million times better. Not getting shafted, all the nuts came off loose. So just gonna take this all off and yeah, should have the new one in pretty quickly. So yeah, car fell off the jack stand. This is why it sucks working on a hill. Jack stands. No, it wasn't even the jack stands. These are just generic ones that were in the garage. So the car fell off the jack stand. Thankfully my leg was out of the way before it fell. Gonna throw the arm back on and move the car before we put it back up again. Here's the damage. Took out a plant, cracked the pot. My leg survived. On the car though, the bumper seems fine. It looked, at first glance, it looked terrible, but the bumper seems like it held up fine. Yeah, this is what happens when you go OEM and you also don't have anything holding it on. All the pieces that would like actually break it are removed, so pretty much when you quick release your bumper, it's pretty flexible. So even the headlight tab didn't even break, so pretty good. Not a bad day. I was scared shitless, but could be a lot worse. So pretty cool that everything survived. Still got to do this side, so I'm probably gonna head to Ace now, put this back together when I get back. Here's the jack stand. This is exactly why the car fell. This thing just collapsed on itself. Thankfully I didn't buy these. I just bought them from the house we're living at. That's what it should look like, and that's what it does look like. So, yeah, faulty jacks. That's the first time that's, or jack stands, I should say. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. It doesn't help that we're on a massive hill. Here is the old bolt. You can see it's all stripped and fucked. They use a castle nut. I'm pretty sure stock hardware for the coilover is not a castle nut. I could be wrong. You guys probably know if you have a 240 and have swapped the suspension, but it's fucked. So I'm just gonna change it. Went to Ace and I picked up just standard, same size, bolt, blah blah blah. And yeah, about to throw it in. What's up guys? So here's an update on the car, pretty much. I didn't get to show you guys because the last time it got too dark when we were working on the coilovers and stuff. Blitz 03s are on, 17x9 plus 12 in the rear. Just have to pull this a little bit, not even too bad. And then threw on the Works in the front, Workmeister S2Rs. And yeah, I mean, I'd have to throw on an inch spacer. They're still kind of crappy spec, but whatever, I like it. This car's not about looking amazing, or about sliding, so. We're at the car wash. We're about to head to the Cars and Boba meet tonight. We got Mike out here. This car is dumped. He also installed some angel eyes, but
he lost his controller about 20 minutes ago, so kind of shaft, as he would say.
So yeah, we're just gonna wash these up and get ready for the meet. We're also gonna take Anthony's cars and my other car, the Lexus.
We're coming in 5 deep.
Yeah, should be lit tonight.
That's what your girl said about my fingers, though.
That's a wrap. Meet was lit. We went to B-Dubs, had hella food. Took hella long, and it's like 1 a.m., so about to call it a night. Make sure you hit that like button. Here's Red from Ballin' on Budget Garage. But peace out.